but we got to stay realistic, and realistically, it's going to be very tough to go up against South Korea.
I appreciate how real you're keeping it.
I'm keeping it real.
But guys, it's time to go ahead and send it over to your commentators. It's going to be the one and only Doa and Monte Cristo.
Hey guys, Doa and Monte Cristo here, of course, for day 2 of the Overwatch World Cup here in Katowice, Poland. And we're starting things off with Poland, the home team taking on South Korea.
And
well,
we saw this Kings Row map from South Korea yesterday, where they wanted to play Hanzo on attack the entire way through. Of course, we also saw the Zarya coming in, lots of Reinhardt, and then the Junkrat play on the defense.
I can't wait, man. I can't wait. I love it.
You love it. Well, we are going to see the Korean team going to be on the attack first here on Kings Row, and Poland will be defending, and it looks like Setrox wants to use the Reinhardt. So a lot more Reinhardt we've seen on Kings Row so far.
Yeah, meanwhile, we've got an interesting composition for the Korean team in the red. But I think they may make some changes here. Of course, Kings Row is where we're starting things off, and then the losing team will get to choose our control map, and every map thereafter, whoever loses gets to pick. But here we go. Poland on the defense, South Korea on the attack. And what sort of insanity are we going to see from the South Korean squad today? We saw them kind of take down Austria pretty handily. About I believe it was 24 kills total for Austria in that 4-map set. It was a rough one, so we'll see if Poland can fare any better, but no doubt, I mean, South Korea, the favorites to win the whole thing at this point.
And we are going to see Flower on the Pharah here, so a different look on the attack. And then we will not be seeing the Hanzo this time, and Concussive Grenade going to launch Setrox forward.
Yeah, separating the Reinhardt, a couple kills already, but Poland holding strong on the defense, and South Korea having to back off a little bit here. You know, we've seen Flower play this far quite a bit in the past. It's been a little while, but it is a hero he can play. But so far for South Korea, they need to do a bit of regrouping.
Yeah, Danya as well, actually picking up the kills, diving into that back line. So successful first defense by Poland here as they run a more unorthodox composition in the current meta.
On board now with Jaehong, the best Ana in the entire world, arguably, coming in right now. Use that sleep dart early. There's a grenade. A little bit of less healing. Setrox goes down early. They lost Reinhardt. Ooh, but Danya takes down Jaehong. Flower trying to equalize, get a little bit more damage. And South Korea pulling ahead in the kills right now. Going back onto the Ana. Sleep dart misses. Flower has a good angle to take down Schlepaistos. Grenades himself. Will it be enough? Maybe, maybe not. Flower gets the kill. Meanwhile, though, Danya pulling out the Dragon Blade to eliminate a few members of South Korea, but not enough to stop them from gaining some control meter here on point A.
And also the respawn timers really in favor of South Korea right there, trading more or less evenly with the Polish defense. Looks like they are rushing back to the point right now, but will not make it. They are going to set up for a defense around this choke point instead.
Yeah. All right. So, good start for South Korea. 5 minutes, of course, on the clock right now. Flower with the barrage. Oh, boy! Comes in from behind, and he takes out 2 before Danya takes him out. Mono has that Earth Shatter ready to go. Pretty successful barrage. They would have preferred to keep Flower alive, of course, but the payload will move.
Yeah, bumped back a little bit there. There's the shatter coming through, but not gonna hit anything.
Dude, that was another sleep dart into the Reinhardt from Jaehong to set up a great Earth Shatter. We saw it yesterday. We're seeing it again right now. Pretty clean team wipe in favor of South Korea.
And it's been so long since we've seen some of these Earth Shatter mind games, Noah. But one of the reasons why Mono was picked for this roster instead of last year's World Cup MVP Miro was that he can pull out this Reinhardt. He is a more effective Reinhardt player, and showing it right there, really winning the mind game battle and getting the big shatter to launch this card a little bit further forward.
It's so sick to see the Anas hitting those sleep darts again. That's something that Chips Hyan from Sweden is really good at doing too. Dragon Blade again coming out on the side of Poland. Gets 2 already. Danya's been great with the Dragon Blade so far today, and Zunba trying to kind of put this game on his back and carry it here, but it may not quite be enough as Schlepaistos finishes him off. It was a valuable effort. There's another sleep dart from Jaehong, just kind of making Moth wait a little bit on the payload.
Yeah, it's trying to wait for the team to get there. They can't actually have enough damage right now to kill the D.Va. They were trying to zone out the Ana instead.
Yeah.
Montvoy did hit a very nice Graviton Surge to start off that fight, coupled with the Dragon Blade. Stalled the card out for a little bit, but it's not enough to keep them there. Flower healed up.
Jaehoong's accuracy is just insane to watch. I love watching this guy's point of view. No support bias, of course. Reinhardt's charging into each other there. Danya gets the kill on the Mano in the response here in Poland, pushing back South Korea again. So a really strong start for Poland today. I think South Korea is running into a bit more resistance than they expected.
Yeah, couldn't actually get the payload down. 3 minutes remaining, but Motboy and Danya have showed up. Those combinations of ultimates from the Zarya and the Genji have been effective so far. They're going to be building up to another pair the next minute or so.
I gotta say, I am pretty impressed by Poland so far, especially, like you mentioned, Danya on that Genji. Been really finding some great ultimates. Here we go again, Flower with the barrage getting aggressive. Gotta watch out for that sleep dart. I think I heard it go out, but he's not quite convinced. Danya again going in, lighting up the kill feed as Flower tries to fight for his life here, but it's already over. His team has lost the fight. He's gotta try to stay alive somehow, waiting for that help back. The sneakiest Pharah in Overwatch history.
His team already pushed back up. Pushing back up rather to the cart right now, and we didn't see it, but that was actually a nano boosted Dragon Blade for Danya, so not going to bring that nano boost to try and get Motboy up to the Graviton Surge faster. They invest some big kills, but they will have a bigger bang available depending on if Mot waits to use that self-destruct.
Yeah, South Korea still some ults to use. Self-destruct thrown in by Poland just to try to zone South Korea back a little bit here. That's a sleep dart onto Setrox, sets up a kill there. Earth Shatter comes in. Some Zarya shields helping out, but Flower gets 2 with the barrage. So South Korea able to finally push forward, and this may be their ticket to take point B. Yeah, looks like it will be.
Yeah, this defense has finally been broken, and South Korea, they didn't really have to use much. 2 ultimates from Mono and Flower, all that was necessary. So now they will be trying to get another big nano-boosted Graviton Surge, probably onto Zunba right here if he can get enough Zarya charge up. Sabielby in the wings right now, waiting for the Pulse Bomb. Can he get onto the end? He's going to maybe Big Bang it.
Graviton Surge! Tried to wait out those Zarya shields, got 1 with it, but the sound barrier preventing some of that damage as well. South Korea with their own as they go back in, and they will crush Poland. Gotta get that payload moving though. Tank able to delay that quite a bit.
Yeah, but the nice thing for Poland is that they got all of the ultimates from South Korea there. So they forced everything, the Graviton Surge, the sound barrier, the Pulse Bomb. So they will be able to hold better as it gets closer to point C.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough, I think, for Korea to push this one in for a little bit.
They don't have a ton of time right now, and they don't have the ults to work with as well. Sabielby really needs to kind of get some picks on the outside. He dodges that sleep dart. Tank getting a bit low. Nice kill there. That's a great pick for South Korea.
Danya with a sleep dart
from Jaehoong, taking him out of the fight, and now the road is open. Even Moth popped out of the Diva suit and taken down.
Oh my, that sleep dart was so clutch to Danya. Got his ultimate while he was dead. Shlabaisos was trying to nano boost him into a Dragon Blade, and that's just gonna be it.
Well, they got to take down Moth and a few stragglers, but that will be it. South Korea with 1:30 on the clock at the end of their attack round, and that was a pretty sick move from Jaehoong at the end. But what do you expect from this guy? Like, that's the kind of play you honestly expect from him, and he makes it every time.
Yeah, it was just so precise. Getting the Genji as he was dashing in. If he had managed to hit any of his dash or any more damage, he would have then gotten the Dragon Blade, pulled it out, and tried to wipe the back line. But that one sleep dart shuts down the defense from Poland and allows Korea to push all the way to the end of the map.
And that's like, in its core, in a nutshell, the really terrifying thing about South Korea as a team is that every single member on that team has the talent to make a play of that caliber, right? Everybody's got opportunities to do that. That's a scary stare from Sabielby there as well. I was getting chills. Very distracting.
Well, Poland on the other side does look a little bit more cohesive than we saw them playing yesterday. And Danya coming up with some nice Genji work. Motboy looking comfortable on the Zarya in particular. So they were having issues yesterday playing against the dive and trying to stop the flankers from killing their supports. But, playing Reinhardt Zarya versus Reinhardt Zarya does seem to suit their more poking style a little bit better, where they can all back up behind a shield. And they are looking like they're having a bit of an easier time with that teamwork.
Right. So here we go. South Korea now on the defense. And it looks like Flower may be pulling out the Junkrat yet again. We saw him use it yesterday. It worked very well, actually. And Poland mulling over the pharmacy. We did see that a little bit yesterday in their match against the Netherlands. They did get 4-0'd in this match here, but so far today, giving South Korea more trouble than Austria did by quite a bit.
I think we're definitely going to see the pharmacy. They know that Korea likes to play the Tracer and the Junkrat on the defense on King's Row.
Yeah.
So there's not really going to be an answer with the nerfs to Ana damage. It becomes a little more dicey to play this. There's making sure right now with the Sonic Arrow that there's not going to be any surprises, and a few arrows to force them back off the point before we see the switch for Danye back over to the Tracer.
Yeah, I'm a big Junkrat fan, but I admit he's not the greatest pick against Pharah, that's for sure. They do get the kill on Tank early on, so South Korea fighting this one with a man advantage here. Although, of course, Poland has those quick respawns. Moth having to back up just a little bit here, so Poland will regroup as Tank comes back.
And the only thing you can really do here if you're Korea is play around the hotel and the terrain and back off, right?
Yeah.
Sabielby tries to get some shots off on the high ground, but you're just not going to deal enough damage to take this far out, so you have to focus on taking the teammates out and preventing people from actually capping the point by spamming it with those Junkrat grenades instead.
That's right. Now, Moth did a pretty good job of separating the members of South Korea with that concussion grenade, but you can see the kill feed right now. South Korea, the team picking up all the kills here, and it's mostly on the back of Sabielby's Tracer. They're kind of just ignoring the Pharah, right? I mean, they're saying, all right, well, whatever, you can't take the point with it, and we can avoid the damage.
Yeah, they're avoiding the damage just by falling back around the corner and playing around the Reinhardt shield. When it goes down, they can head back into the hotel, and a little bit of harassment from the Tracer on the high ground. But
yeah.
You know, Poland is getting a lot of these shots in, but they're not actually finding targets right now because of how well Korea's playing around this terrain.
Danya trying to get into the back lines there, but it's not working yet. Moth does take down Mono, so no Reinhardt. Maybe an opportunity here for Poland. They've got South Korea bottled up in the back corner here, but they need a bit more. They're not able to quite get the kills, and now South Korea comes storming back in again. A lot else to work with, and they don't even need to use them. It looked like Poland had an opportunity, but you know, with that one not working out, things are starting to get a little bit worrisome. They really need to make these next couple fights count.
Well, with the nano boost and the graviton surge there, if things had started to go badly, Zunba had an opportunity just to lay it down onto the point and get the necessary damage. He had a high amount of charge. Pulse bomb not going to hit for Danya.
That was a pretty optimistic one, just kind of lobbing it in there, but didn't end up finding the damage he was hoping for. Graviton surge now for South Korea, and there's a big bang, but a bigger res comes in from Schlepaistos. They need to make something happen afterwards, so sound barrier immediately for South Korea, and Flower picks up 2 with the Riptire. That's another hold for South Korea.
But look at that use of the Riptire, Doa.
Yeah.
They knew that the Resurrection was up. They knew it was going to be coming after the ult combo, so they delayed the Riptire. Flower gets it and kills 2 immediately after the Resurrection. So South Korea reading these team fights very well so far, and Poland not having very many opportunities. Moth going to be switching to the Soldier 76 right now, trying to get that poke down onto Flower.
It's a scary concept to consider Riptire is actually a pretty good answer to Resurrection on points like this.
Oh, it definitely is.
It's kind of funny. Ooh, Sabielby getting very low, has to run away there. Moth coming in again now on the Soldier 76.
Nice shot.
There's the Earth Shatter used by Mono. What can they get with it? Yeah, Moth did take down Sabielby, but Zunba following up on that Earth Shatter, helping South Korea take people down. Mano does fall, though. Another graviton. He gets so many of those. Oh, 3-man Riptire from Flower.
Well, that was not going to end well, though. As soon as I saw them walking into that hotel, the graviton easily able to grab 3 members in there.
He may be named Flower, but he's making Poland push up daisies right now.
Nicely put.
Thank you. Poland's got a couple ults to work with as they come in for what's going to be their last push here. Jaehong nearly has that nano boost. Sabielby, Toby very close to his ultimate as well. Oh, there's a stick. Did he get it? No, it didn't stick. I thought for sure Danya was going to be able to get that one, but now there's desperation. Moth has the tac visor, but South Korea again on the back of that sound barrier, able to stay strong in the fight. And with the nano boost on Zunba, it looks like that's going to be enough. Danya, the last man standing for his team here, he'll get taken down, and they don't even get to the point. That's a map win for South Korea.
Yeah, the combos that we've seen from the South Korean roster so far, just chaining those ultimates together and having very effective, conservative use of their ultimate economy. And top tier so far here in Poland, and struggled a little bit at first. We saw the Polish team give them a fight on that attack run, but they could never crack the defense. They had the compositional, answer with the Pharah.
Yeah.
It was good to see that come in, but the Korean team played around the terrain so well, it made it very difficult for the Polish squad to actually have that make the big difference and get enough damage down, not on Reinhardt shields and not on walls of buildings, in order to finish off some of those kills.
Well, I mean, no doubt we're seeing Poland come out a little bit stronger than Austria did yesterday. That was did push South Korea a little bit, but still not even a single point for the opponents of South Korea. But we're seeing all this stuff that, you very seldom even have to think about. Like, when you get this big res, you're not ever really considering the fact that there's going to be a Junkrat tire coming in to catch those people coming out of it at the end. It's like, who prepares for that, you know?
It's true, but also there is value in that, too, because you did force the Korean side to use 3 ults, and you used 1.
True.
So,
very true.
They did actually get something out of that scenario, and sometimes you want to use res in that manner because the trade that you're making for your next push can be improved as a result. But there wasn't a capitalization that we saw coming out of that trade by Poland, unfortunately, for them.
All right. Well, we'll see what map Poland chooses for the control map going forward. Looks like from our screen it may be Nepal. We will see if that goes through. Either way, it's a strong start for South Korea, and not a huge shock. Everybody expecting South Korea to come in come in very strong into this one. And a lot of people ask, are they going to be able to repeat last year where they won the World Cup without dropping a single map in the entire tournament? And it's even harder to do that this time around because you've got more matches to play. But so far, so good. They have not let an opponent take a single point yet in this tournament.
I think the hardest part is that because of the committees selecting the World Cup rosters this year, we do have many teams comprised entirely of pro players, which is especially if they make BlizzCon, which we all predict that they will.
You'd think so.
It will be a harder run, I think, through the top 8 teams.
Yeah, I think it's going to get pretty competitive for South Korea later on. I mean, if you remember how China was looking when we were at the Shanghai stop, that was probably, I think, the second strongest team behind South Korea we've seen so far. Australia looked good, but they did struggle a bit against Japan, who kind of came out with this really surprising amount of talent that we weren't expecting. But yeah, I'm already getting psyched about BlizzCon, man. I'm looking ahead. I mean, we've got a lot more great matches this weekend, but
and next weekend,
already,
and several months.
Yeah, exactly. But already, I'm getting super hyped for BlizzCon.
Me too.
Well, here we are on Nepal, guys, starting things off on Village. South Korea in the blue this time, Poland in the red. As we go for that high ground battle, looks like Flower back on the Pharah,
we're
ready to catch him.
Reaper and a Mei on the Polish side. This composition is great if you cap first, but you have to be able to get the first cap.
Katowice's in a little bit of trouble. He goes down early. Sabi will be following up on that damage from Flower's Pharah, and Cetrok's not going to last too much longer. This Pharah just went completely untouched. And because of that, Poland, I think they're going to need to make some swaps. Because it's like you said, Monte Cristo, you really have a hard time assaulting the point, and we already see them making some changes.
So they were not anticipating the Pharah coming out because they made a composition that had no damage to the Pharah whatsoever and couldn't even reposition against the Pharah. So if you win that first fight, though, and you get the Mei and Reaper on the point and force them, the enemy, to come to you, it can be very strong. So I like the idea, and I'm glad we're seeing Poland as well make that adjustment immediately once they realize that their composition is not going to work out.
Yep. On board with Jaehyung once again.
And Poland did flip the point right there.
Yeah, they did manage to sneak in and take it, gaining a little bit of percentage now. So South Korea on the outside looking in. Oh, I didn't even notice that. That was really quick, really subtle. South Korea coming back now. They've pushed Poland away for the moment. Moth, though, does take down the opposing Pharah, and it looks like Poland may be able to hold on to this for a bit longer.
Wow, they just snuck right in there, actually. Capped it right under
I was kind of surprised.
Team Korea's nose, and then Moth winning that Pharah battle.
Run, Sapaitos!
Trying to get out of the way of the Primal Rage. It looks like it will heal up, but not going to be enough. Does fall.
All right, South Korea trying to flip the point back right now. Mano manages to dodge the pulse bomb from Mattboy, and that's going to be a reverse flip again. South Korea gaining the point. A little bit of an uncharacteristic move there, allowing Poland to come in and grab that, but we'll see if they're a bit more attentive now. And whoa, Flower, did he just pick him off air to air?
Yep, same thing. We've seen a lot of good Pharah battles so far on this point.
Yeah.
That's going to delay the respawn. Moth was trying to get back over the top of the buildings and toward his team. Will be staggered now, Flower. Taking a few optimistic shots. towards the far in the distance.
Pretty accurate, optimistic shots, man. Those are not missing by a whole lot. Oh, there's one. All right, there's another one. He needs one more. So close. Air to air. Moth gets a bit of healing. There's a barrage. Whoa, what in the what? Somehow Flower survived
He got
through that.
far enough away, looked like.
I guess so.
Missing some of those rockets, so we're just going to keep watching that one. Flower gets one. Can he get Moth as well?
It's pretty good. I mean, taking out the Mercy already basically does the job. Farah. Meanwhile, other stuff is happening, but that was pretty impressive.
Some fun in the skies there from Flower and Moth. Always entertaining to see those kind of duels.
Now the agony of the Danya.
Trying to just boot him back, stagger him as much as possible.
In Korean, you can say annyeong for hello or goodbye if you're friends with someone. So we'll assume that Danya was saying goodbye. I don't know if he's friends with the person about to beat him to death, but you know, it's a thought that counts. There's a language lesson with Doa. That's the important thing.
Well, indeed.
That's right. You can learn more about it from Arrested Development. All right. Oh, Madboy comes in, gets killed off immediately. There's a Graviton Surge from South Korea. They managed to keep them out of the point long enough.
Didn't get in there fast enough.
Wow.
With his Primal Rage. Looked like he was going to be able to stall for overtime. I guess it was just a hair too late.
I mean, that was one of those things where I wasn't even looking at the score, and I was like, well, that Graviton Surge, there's not really a whole lot of follow-up for that. But yeah, they just kept him from even getting in there and forcing the OT.
It did look like, oddly, Seprox did get in there, but it's not going to be actually registering on the point in time.
Guess not.
So we are going to head to our second point on Nepal now, which will be Sanctum. And are we going to see more Farah play in this one?
Well, I mean, you get so many good opportunities for environmental kills, but at the same time, you just don't have the range to stay safe with the Farah as much, so it's kind of a toss-up. Flower's going to play it, so it looks like South Korea is going to go for it. Poland swapping things up. They're going back on the Reaper. This time, Danya going to be playing that one.
Another composition that will have a tough time actually handling the Farah, even though the Farah will be closer in this point. Danya going to get mono immediately as they charge towards South Korea's spawn.
Yeah, the battering ram coming in here. Danya has to Wraith form away, though, nearly taken down by Flower. And Poland, somebody needs to get to the point here, but they have managed to kind of scatter South Korea for the moment. And he, no objective kills. He nearly got Shapaistos, actually, with that concussion grenade. Looks like he might get the follow-up with the rocket. That is a kill for Sabielby. And Sabielby is so good at following up on the damage from Farah. Apparently they are. Oh, goodbye. Oh, not goodbye.
Actually sticking on there right now, but has high charge, not the proximity to do the necessary damage, though.
Merely delaying the inevitable.
Yeah, they just ignored the Farah as she fired into that room. Yeah. They were trying to take the forward position to prevent any kind of reinforcements from coming through, but a lot of damage going to Flower.
That was really smart by South Korea because they allowed Poland to take the point early. And yeah, we do see Danya swapping over to the McCree, but they knew they could get a couple picks and then take the respawns as they come in and split up the team enough to retake it. There's a Graviton Surge as South Korea tries to get a bit more damage onto Poland. Didn't work out. They had the sound barrier, but Barrage comes in from Flower. No kills with that, though. And Poland coming out ahead in this fight.
Yeah, a tad bit greedy there from Korea. You saw Zunba, we were in his perspective, take the peek around the corner.
Toby able to knock Madboy off the point there before it's finally going to be flipped back here. Sabielby can't delay forever. But 37% for South Korea. Poland, though, keeping this one competitive.
Yeah, we saw the point as they were coming through. Zunba took the peek around the corner, saw the defensive matrix, so he grabbed the wall instead, but they couldn't get any damage around that corner.
Yeah.
And that kept Poland pushing forward.
All right, South Korea using the sound barrier just to kind of come in here. Setrox with the kill on the Sabielby, though. And it doesn't look like that Earthshatter did a whole lot. In fact, well, it did a lot for Poland anyway.
Definitely did.
And Flower
has been forced to flip over to the Soldier 76 now that he sees the McCree on the other side.
Yeah.
So South Korea forced to make certain adjustments right now. Mono will be coming up with an Earthshatter, but Poland has some good zoning here. They can hold this choke point for a while.
Wow, and that was actually a good sleep dart onto Mono. South Korea getting a taste of their own medicine. Danya walking up with the Deadeye, but he wasn't able to find any kills with that. Poland just holding the spawn extremely well. And they're up to about 66% right now, man. Poland may win this one, although South Korea coming back from some kills. I don't know. Poland may have overstepped a bit here.
Well, the problem was that they dropped the Deadeye and the self-destruct at the same time. They should have been able to create a lengthy zone so that nobody was going to be able to come into that choke point for quite a long time.
Yeah.
But the self-destruct went off in the back line, so they weren't able to extend it as much as they would have liked.
Yep.
And that was a lot of ult charge gained from the South Korean side as well from healing off of the poke.
Yeah, one does kind of wonder if a bit safer of a defense would have gained Poland perhaps this round. That said, Poland on the attack once again, coming in, getting caught in that graviton surge though, and Flower, he's got the attack visor ready to go. May not even need it. No, he definitely did not need that. Definitely did not need that. Oh well, it gets one out of it. There we go. Yeah, you got the mech. Good job, buddy.
Wow.
Good job.
Yeah, definitely an overcommitment there.
A little bit, yeah.
Saw that everybody was caught in that grab. The Reinhardt twisted his shield towards Flower.
Yeah.
And decided to pull out the tactical visor, but it was already too late. Everybody down on the Polish side.
Well, South Korea's still got some good ults to use on the defense here, nearing 90% now. Poland going in hard. They put the nano boost down onto Mob. Shlapaisos goes down very early. There's a reverse Earth Shatter from Mono. A little bit more damage out of that one, but he's going to get taken out. No, he won't. South Korea actually pulling ahead in this fight, and it looks like they're going to hold and take Nepal.
Yeah, Poland had some interesting strategic changes there. They switched Moth over to the Winston so that they had a good nano boost target and they could dive that back line. But unfortunately, we see South Korea once again winning the Earth Shatter war. The mind games have been real as Mono taking out Setrox there, just having his shatter delayed a little bit longer and counter shattering yet again.
I mean, Poland absolutely making it competitive. It's with that one, especially with that second round, it was relatively minor things that ended up getting South Korea the win. And so we'll see if maybe they can tighten it up a little bit for the next map.
Well, they played the choke point pretty well overall, and you know, it was more of a classic style of Sanctum that we're used to seeing, or we had seen in previous meta games. And holding that 1 point can prove effective, but you have to be able to stall out as long as possible if you have that Deadeye and you have that self-destruct.
Yeah, that's right. So, South Korea coming out strong, but looking vulnerable. Well, maybe not vulnerable. Looking
That's
more
not the word
mortal.
I would use.
Maybe mortal? is mortal okay?
No.
Looking semi-godlike. Not godlike, but they're like demi-godlike, right?
Okay, there we'll go with that one.
Heroes never die, that's true. Unless there's a Junkrat Riptide right after they come back. And they die twice. Yeah. All right, so we will send it back to the desk and see what they've got to say about those two maps.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. All right, and here we are right back at the desk in halftime. And I have to say, Poland, they are showing up in this match against South Korea. And also, huge shout out to the crowd out there. It sucks that we can't be with them, but we are there in spirit, and we appreciate your energy. So keep it colorful. Love it. Anyway, so wow, and there you go. I hear you guys. Wow. I hear you guys. That's what's up. Awesome. So let's talk about this first matchup here because, I think a lot of people were really caught off guard. I mean, South Korea is a very strong team, but the Polish, they are not looking to just keel over,
They made this competitive. And that's something which, based on the performance we saw of them yesterday, I almost didn't expect because they're going up against such well-coordinated teams such as South Korea. And yesterday they did struggle with coordination, adaptation, and flexibility. And that's exactly what they did right today. In both games we saw, they did adapt. They made the right adjustments in terms of hero picks. They tried to deal with the Junkrat, with that pharmacy, and also on Nepal, we just saw them really making the appropriate picks to deal with what Korea is throwing at them. And I gotta say, they forced Korea to make adjustments, and that's something which is really, really hard. And Canada was really proud of managing them themselves, and now Poland just, does it. They might have overstepped a little bit on that last round, but I can't blame them for them. That's like looking at your present right there and not unpacking it. Like I would have thrown myself at them.
Yeah, but it's not. Okay.
I'm just saying.
Calm down. So by herself just reapering and just I like that gif.
Yeah.
It's great.
No, but it's something we highlighted before, that they have some problem with shot calling. And it's something that a lot of professional teams, including us as Misfits, have struggled with. That you don't have that authoritative voice to be like, guys, we need to pull back. We need to set up a proper fight. So, I mean, they just went into spawn. I don't blame them necessarily. I mean, But hey, you should have pulled back and set up a proper fight. They were up to like 60, 70%, and I mean, that's quite a lot. They didn't cap a single point, but they were halfway there, at least.
Yeah.
Hey.
It seemed like the adrenaline got to them at that point, right? They're fragging out on Korea. They're actually forcing them back into spawn. They're winning these team fights, which Austria had a lot of difficulty with. And speaking of fragging out, Danya. Oh my gosh, on King's Road, did you see what he was doing with Genji? He was taking the aggression to them instead of playing scared. You can't play passive against a team like that. If you play passive against a team like South Korea, they're just going to walk all over you. They're going to be able to get the positional advantage and everything like that. So that's why I loved seeing the aggression coming out from Danya.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday we mainly saw him on Soldier, so I was really happy to see him on Genji now, really making that swaps and finding those kills.
And even the McCree, I think, was perfect on Sanctum versus the Pharah Mercy. They played triple tank McCree. And it's not something we see really often, but it was really fun to see.
It was something.
Yeah, it was something.
Speaking of fun, I hope you guys are ready for it.
I'm so ready.
Because it's time for a T-Mobile Unlimited gaming break. Okay, guys. So, how dare you, okay? All right. Well, the player in discussion here is Flower, but, you know, one of the things about the T-Mobile Unlimited gaming break is we are looking to see who are the potential MVPs? Who are the guys who are really going to shine, especially come BlizzCon? We saw Mira last year be the MVP, and who knows? Maybe it could be his friend over here, Flower, potentially being they're friends. I'm assuming they would be okay. I'm assuming Miro and Flower are chill.
Miro and Flower sounds like a wonderful duo.
Yeah.
I mean, there used
like
to
the
be a
names really
rivalry
were.
between Lunatic High and LW Red.
LW
Flower
Blue.
was on LW Red before he swapped on over to LW Blue, and Flower was one of the main reasons why that Lunatic High did struggle up against him. His Genji was fantastic, which we really haven't seen because, well, he's pulled out his sixth hero, even bringing the Pharah here.
Yeah, he's pulled out. Like, it's funny that graphic had like heroes, but in reality, it should just be every hero. And look at that coordination. I remember watching, when Overwatch first came out, watching guys like Tailspin do that with the tracking with Pharah missiles. It's a really cool thing to see. But we actually did get an opportunity to catch up with Flower, and I think you guys would be very impressed with Malik's Korean. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it.
All right, here with the new kid on the block, Flower, representing Team South Korea. And I got to know, man, you being a young gun, and this year being your first Overwatch World Cup, do you feel any pressure going in with the vets?
긴장이라기보단 저희가 같이 이번에 또 우승을 시켜야 된다는 그런 부담감이 있잖아, 없어요? 오히려 없어요.
Okay. Well, all right, we got to talk about this Junkrat meta, this Junkrat, agenda that you've been pushing, because you are saying that you weren't trolling me when you said Junkrat is the way to go. Is this really true? Like, is Junkrat the future of Overwatch?
왜냐하면 정크렛은 정말 한 방 한 방이 다 강하고 궁도 하이 리스크 하이 리턴이지만 왜냐하면 600 데미지가 모든 것을 폭발시켜버릴 수 있기 때문에 저는 정말 정크렛을 좋아합니다.
I somehow feel like if I tried the Junkrat strategies you try, it just wouldn't pan out as well as you guys make it look. But anyways, man, I'm going to be watching everything that you do. Keep it up, Flower. It's good seeing you grow as a pro gamer. And on that note, guys, this has been another T-Mobile Unlimited Gaming Break.
And there you have it. Malik's Korean.
Flawless.
Flower's English. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Barriers have been broken, people. Here we are. The future is now.
Why didn't they talk the same language?
No, because why not?
Because this looks way more multicultural.
Yeah,
It was impressive. It was the best.
Yeah, it was great.
It was great.
And also hearing Flower talk about Junkrat. Again, I do agree with Malik that it's just, no, it wouldn't work out
Don't try
for
to
any of
set
us.
hope.
Yeah, I was actually
Please
talking to
don't try to
Mr.
set
X out there, and he was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna go and rank to play Junkrat now." I was like, and then you realize that
Seems
it's
like
going to
something
be
you would do.
terrible.
Yeah.
It seems like something X would do. So in any case, though, guys, let's talk about this upcoming matchup here. This is going to be Poland's pick, and yesterday we saw Austria go with Volskaya. I would I don't want them to do that. I would like Poland to kind of go about it a different way. Real quick, just do you think we're going to see Volskaya reinforced?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
There you go. Keep it simple. All right, guys.
Keep it
Well,
real.
it's time to get into the action one more time. And let's see if Poland's going to be able to bounce back, or can South Korea continue their run of dominance here in Katowice, Poland. Send it over to your casters, Monte Cristo and Doan.
All right, thank you, Golden Boy Doan Monte Cristo, back for the second half of Poland versus South Korea. South Korea perhaps unsurprisingly ahead 2-0, but Poland showing a bit of life, certainly.
Well, certainly better than yesterday. And Danya, as an individual performer, has been excelling so far on the side of Poland. And it will be Horizon Lunar Colony, which is to be expected. Korea did take both points on attack yesterday without losing a single player, no deaths on their side. So I don't think you mess with that. But we are going to see May. So we have not typically seen May on these Horizon Point A defenses so far.
It is yet another hero, though, that Flower is known to be good at playing.
Yes, he is. Yeah. He's just going to work through the entire cast of Overwatch heroes one by one as this tournament progresses.
I mean, to be fair, he is pretty much good at playing every hero. But we have, if you've watched Apex in the past, we have seen Flower's May a few times. So, South Korea with that, well, can we call May a tank? Can we call this a triple tank defense? More or less. Triple-ish, 2.5 tank defense.
There you go.
Poland coming in, though, with that lone Pharah. They're going 3 tank, the real thing.
Yeah, another time, though, where there's not going to be any kind of long-range damage to help deal with Moth on this Pharah. So he's going to have free reign when it comes to shooting these rockets over the top. Actually, does get dangerously low right there. He does not have the Mercy pocket healing him in this composition. Danya just going to get walled right out of the point.
Denied. Here we go, Poland coming in now. Toby with the first kill on the Matvoy, though. And looks like the ice block from Flower just staying alive, and they are going to push back Poland for the moment. And you notice South Korea is playing this positionally much different than we see a lot of other defensive comps. We see a lot of big high ground spread comps to the defensive point day. But South Korea knows that their range is low. They know that to defend it with this comp, they need to kind of basically sit on the point and guard the door.
Well, normally you would see a composition like this from South Korea if they were going to be playing Reaper instead of the Mei. But
yeah, that too.
That's what we've seen many teams do so far since we began seeing Horizon here in competitive play with this World Cup.
I like the idea of the Mei just splitting the team up as they try to come into the room. It's a classic move with Mei and something we haven't seen in a while, but it didn't stop being effective. Poland has another chance here to come back in.
Yeah, Moth trying to at least get some damage around with the Forest, switching sides consistently. He's got Jaehong zoned out right now.
Yeah, Jaehong, you need to lose this one. Oh, but there's the end. Wow, he catches him as they try to come up.
Very nicely done.
3 kills from Moth. Meanwhile, the rest of the team charging onto the point. They have got to take it now. They've got to win this one. Flower's got the Blizzard. Probably going to save that, though. Uses the wall again, just trying to stay alive, but there's a direct hit rocket from Moth to finish him off, and it looks like Poland, off of that tricky move from Moth, is going to take point A.
Yeah, interesting too that Danya is going to be on the Diva this map. Didn't mention that at first, but Moth, the Pharah specialist, looking better on the Pharah than he has on the Diva yesterday. And they're making a big difference, and that's going to be a nice objective take right there, thanks to a good barrage from Moth.
First point taken against South Korea this tournament. It's a good start.
It is definitely a start right now. Lots left to go, but they do have 5.5 minutes to try and get onto this point. And Pharah is very effective on point B, especially on attack here, because if you can get control of the point, it's easy to zone people out with rockets at these doors like we're seeing right now.
Now he's chasing after the supports again. He gets Toby, as we can see from the kill feed. Meanwhile, Mano with the nano boost. The Mano comes in, but Cetrox hits that Earth Shatter. Not a lot of follow-up, though. There's a follow-up for Korea, though. And Sabiel B takes down everybody. They still have 3 else to work with, though.
Yeah, Danya not going to be taking too much longer to die right there, so no big stagger for Poland as everybody goes back to respawn. They dealt with the nano-boosted Reinhardt pretty well there with the charge, but couldn't prevent the rest of the damage. Mono now going to be switching over to Winston, much better to deal with the high ground on this particular point.
Yep, and there's the wall. You saw Flower standing right there, ready to split them up, but somehow, some way, Matvoy survives, and Poland jumping down to the point right now. South Korea gonna need a few more kills here. Zimba does roast Moth. There's a Graviton Surge, but they've got the sound barrier to keep them up. Poland getting some kills. The Blizzard might be able to buy enough time for South Korea to get their respawns back, though. Bano with that nano boost again, this time on the Winston. Moth dropped down, like no health left. Moth has like 2 health right now, but he's staying alive, and Poland making some strong progress on point B.
Soon, but not sure what happened to his Graviton Surge in that fight, but the counter Graviton by Matvoy doing the work necessary, catching multiple members of Korea, and it looks like Poland eventually is going to finish this map with a very good time in the bank.
Well, we'll see. South Korea coming back in with the respawns. Mano avoids the Earth Shatter, but still gets taken out anyway. And so far, so good for Poland as they try to take point B
Toby
here.
is on the Bastion right now, just firing into the point, while Flower on the Sombra tries to evade some of this damage.
Pops Danya out of the mech. That's a pretty good start here for South Korea to possibly come back and hold this one, but they need to go more. There's a Primal Rage, crucial for Mono. They trap him with the Graviton Surge, but he's still on the point, so they get the kill, but it's still delayed. South Korea really making this one last here.
Oh, they are. Earthshatter, they're going to
right,
take down
all right.
Toby, so they can't focus him on the ground. No damage on the follow-up. Jaehong still dealing damage from the soldier on the flank.
If Seth
Zumba's
Rock
taken
fall.
out. Flowers left. Keeps using that translocator to get back in and out and heal up.
I mean, right now, Poland doesn't really have any healing on the point. Setrox finally gets ground down. There's the self-destruct. Flower going to use the translocator actually to stay alive through that Diva ultimate and keep the point going, and South Korea may have actually held here.
Wow.
Ooh.
That comeback.
Man.
Just barely enough, 84.5%. And they're still trying to chase down Danya right here. Will grab the kill
Dude, I
in
love-
the end to get the stagger.
I love little stuff like Flower using translocator to survive the self-destruct. Just kind of using the delay where he doesn't exist anywhere, technically.
Yeah, that was very nicely played for sure. And it may have been a crucial difference maker in this fight. Flower still dealing enough damage and translocating back to get that EMP. Moth sitting up above with the barrage ready.
And Moth has played well in the Pharaoh, but that self-destruct not going to do anything to him. He's still got the barrage. Ooh, but Sabiel pokes him down with the Tracer, and South Korea holding again. 2 minutes for Poland, and what looked like nearly a sure thing here is starting to look a little bit scary.
But this is where South Korea can be vulnerable, Doa. They only have that one tick, and they used a lot of ultimates. Toby's still going to be very close to a sound barrier right now, but with the sound barrier already up, if Poland can do this quickly, so we see Danya moving to the McCree right now to stop some of the flanking damage. They're trying to shut down the Sombra with a flashbang.
Yeah, Schlapaisto's over on that Zenyatta now. He knows he needs that Orb of Discord if they do win a fight to kill stragglers and finish things off. Oh, but Sabiel finds the pick on the tank with that Pulse Bomb, and already South Korea storming in, pushing Poland back. Sabiel's doing such a great job of being a distraction.
We didn't see it on camera, Doa, but he actually canceled Tank's ultimate with a Pulse Bomb. So the sound barrier, the kill came through, but Tank started the animation, did die mid-ult, so he will have it to use again. But again, more time not on the clock now for Poland.
That is pretty good. Danya on that McCree. On board with him as we walk in. South Korea with a couple crucial ultimates they can use here. Oh,
Nice
that flashbang. Schlapaisto's ready to go with the right click, it looked like. Danya's zoned out just a bit. There's a kill into Schlapaisto, so Mano kind of taking the reins of this defense here. As the team comes in, there was an EMP used, and Moth does get to it, the barrage, but South Korea's got the respawns. Do they have enough to hold it, though?
I mean, this play by Flower, so he waited for them to use the sound barrier, then canceled it from the heroes on the point of Poland, but he would have not had that EMP if Tank had been able to use his sound barrier on the attack earlier, if Sabiel had not gotten that kill.
I mean, we know Sabiel has been a hero for, South Korean esports for quite a while here.
Well, Montboy has a chance now. They need a huge grab. They have so much crowd control. They can get on this point. South Korea maintaining a spread defense, though, not going to give them a lot of opportunities for a good graviton.
And Danya's got a good position on the high ground here. Doesn't matter, though. Looks like South Korea's getting some damage. Zumba not taken out with that Helix rocket. Now Danya chased away by Mano. He's back in there again. Jaehong getting a couple kills on the soldier, and they don't even get to force OT. Man, that was such a good start by Poland, but Korea somehow pulls it out of the fire.
But when we looked at Poland yesterday, Doa, and we were watching their games, it seemed like if they lost one fight, they didn't know how to adapt on the fly. They didn't know how to come back and make the necessary adjustments. But today, they've looked so much better. They've been able to switch out some of their compositions and find answers to what Korea's throwing at them, and they've had much more success.
Well, I talked to some of the guys on Poland actually yesterday after their match and said that same thing. It's like, if you can just get the resetting a little bit tighter, you've got the other kind of skills on the team, it looks like. And we are seeing that improvement. And they already knew that when I talked to them. They knew what they needed to work on, and they've executed.
Yeah, much better in-game communication, clearly.
Yeah.
And it is at least pushing things towards a potential map win for...
They don't have one yet.
They don't have one yet. They don't. That graphic.
Ignore that
correct.
graphic. Yeah, they don't have a win yet, but they're they're close. If they can stop South Korea from getting 84.5% on point B, Poland can win this map. But they haven't quite done it yet.
So Danya will be on the Sombra now, and interestingly, Tank might be moving over to the McCree. So
interesting.
Yeah, just using that Lucio, from Schlepaistos and having a double DPS composition with that Sombra. So this is a very unusual comp that we haven't really seen before. Very little McCree on defense here on Horizon.
When we talked to this team on Wednesday, though, when we were doing all our team interviews going into this weekend, Poland said one of the things that they kind of struggled with was deciding who plays what role. And so what you have here is a team that is a little bit more flexible if they want to change roles around like we're seeing here. So, Tank, and we'll see what he can do on the McCree.
Yeah, I wonder what they're going to be expecting. Korea should be swapping over some of these heroes back to the Reinhardt for Mono. Flower will be playing the Reaper, so they should be speed boosting very quickly around the side to try and get to the point.
Yep.
Poland needs to dive them as they're coming through some of these chokes. Here it comes.
Yeah, they're coming in hot, and Flower having to back away a little bit. Reinhardt swinging. Flower staying alive, though, for the moment. Man, that passive on his left click, the healing is so good now. Oh, he gets the kill onto Schlepaistos in South Korea with a good start here, rolling into point A.
Well, the big difference maker there, Doa, was that Ryu Jae-hong had the biotic grenade, and as they dove in, he hit everybody, so there just wasn't healing from Poland onto their tank line. And that meant that Reaper was doing a lot of work, dealing so much damage in the front, and that's going to be a point A take.
It's going to be a very quick point A take, and point B can be very difficult to crack no matter what team you are, but South Korea is going to have about as much time as you could possibly have to do it. 7 minutes and 5 seconds to work with here on point B.
It's difficult. I like the fact that Mott switched over to the Pharah again.
Yep.
And was a major success for them on this point. They clearly know how to play around the girders.
And they swapped it back. Tank on the Anna again as well. Danya around that 76.
Yeah, not going to stick with the soldiers. So they do get a kill, and they're going to force a retreat here from Korea as they wait for the respawn.
Oh, and Flower swapping to the 76 himself. Okay. It's a natural pick for this one, obviously much better than the Reaper positionally on this point.
Yeah, it's also a poke composition, right? You want to get 5 people on that high ground behind the Reinhardt shield and have Sabiel be flank and see if he can get anybody picked off with the pulse bomb. So he'll be harassing and harrying the enemy from the side.
Yeah. Oh, Satrok's getting very low, gonna get taken down. Not a good start for Poland here as they go in. Zunba with 3 already off of that Graviton Surge and the following damage. Ooh boy, South Korea is rocking Poland right now.
Satrok's still alive, but he's the only one on his team. He's gonna have to get back there, and the timer is ticking up. Somebody has to get back to this point. He's waiting. He's waiting. Nope. He was alive. He was waiting for his teammates. I don't know. Didn't make an attempt.
Samuel looks kind of confused there. He's like, all right.
To get back to the point.
Win?
I mean, they knew the Winston was up.
All right, well. Interesting. But that means South Korea does take the match 2-1, but we do have that last map to play, of course, because maps matter, Monte Cristo.
They certainly will.
Especially when South Korea is 4-0ing everybody. You know, if you can get that one map, that might actually put you ahead of your opponent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be more impactful in the other group that we have here in Katowice because of how tight I think the race between Canada and Russia is likely to be.
I agree. So whoever, it's a fight for second place here in Group E. The second place team looking at probably facing Canada or Russia in the other group. I think that's reasonable to expect after what we saw yesterday. Yeah. South Korea just having a ton of fun there.
Well, at least for Poland, they have taken points now from Korea, nearly finished out that entire map, and they have forced strategic adaptations from the South Korean side, which we didn't really see yesterday. They ran rampant with whichever picks they wanted.
Well, they're certainly doing a good job of forcing Korea to play things a bit more seriously today. I mean, we only saw the Junkrat once so far. That's all we got. That's all I got, guys. Sorry.
It's okay. We've seen some other interesting picks, at least, maybe some things that are off meta or out of meta for, specific reasons. Obviously, the Poland has gotten a good read on them running the Pharah, especially on that point A.
Yeah.
And I think on King's Row, too, Korea played well against it, but they have the compositional answers here, and they're not afraid to run them.
I was a bit surprised to see Poland play the dive on Lunar Colony defense, because when you talk to those guys, again, they told us they really felt the most comfortable playing sort of poke compositions. Yeah. And that's what we saw for most of their other rounds yesterday against Netherlands as well. So to see them go for that, it seemed like they were a little bit outside their comfort zone, and I think that showed a bit too. Korea fans coming a long way to support these guys.
That's right.
Yang Jinmo, I forget who that is. That's one of the players on the team.
Yeah,
I can't remember which one it is. I only know IDs, Monte Cristo. I don't know real names. This is esports. I know that's one of their names. I don't know which one it is.
Well, thank you for telling us what you don't know.
You're welcome. Hey, I think it's very important that we all admit in life what we don't know. Nothing's worse than somebody pretending they know something they don't, Monte Cristo.
That's very true.
Yeah.
That's very true. That can cause a lot of harm.
That's right. So it's better to admit you just don't know and move on. And then find out. I'm sure somebody will tweet it at me, see?
Now you'll know for all time after this.
That's right. Twitter is my personal Google.
We do know that it's not Ryu Jae-hong.
Yeah, that's true. We do know that. That's literally his name as his ID. Yeah. I'm not going to make guesses. I saw it this morning, but I can't remember now. It's okay. They don't know my real name either. None of the South Korean players do.
All right. Well, we are going to be looking at Dorado. We've seen a lot of Dorado here in Poland. It has been primarily Route 66 for most of the Overwatch World Cup to this point, but interesting to see a little bit more attention paid to that map. I prefer this map, actually.
Me too, actually. I like Dorado. I think it's a great map to look at, and it's a fun map to play, too. And the cool thing about Dorado, the thing I really like most about this map, is that every single point on this map requires a very different approach. It's not like some of the other maps where you can kind of, just roll through with the same comp and adapt to the terrain a bit. I really feel like you can benefit as a team from changing things up substantially from point A to B to C, and we see that a bit on this map. So I love Dorado. I think it's a great map.
Indeed.
Interesting. And Sneaky Tracer. Well. Death to railings. Death to all railings.
Not so sneaky anymore.
No. All right, here we go. Poland on the offense. Danya with the Widowmaker looking for some shots.
I like that we're seeing the Widowmaker Pharah and Mercy right away. You have two choices of targets that are effective to damage boost, depending on the angles, and you can play a lot of these longer sight lines. We are going to see the Pharah going over the back right now and trying to disrupt the lines. Flower is on the Soldier this time.
Danya picked off Sabiel B2. That's huge.
That's huge.
Very big, especially with Moth harassing from the back lines. Great attack from Poland so far. I like it. Conceptually, South Korea is certainly on the defense now.
This Widowmaker, normally on Dorado, we'll see her covering the front entrance, but this is actually a very interesting composition because they flanked both the Pharah and the Widowmaker all the way around to the other side of the truck.
Ooh, nice shot from Danya again. And I don't think South Korea was expecting this kind of attack. I mean, we haven't seen these kind of long-ranging strategies since I feel like we watched Meta Athena play back in Apex.
I've never seen Widowmaker and Pharah on attack on Dorado before simultaneously, and especially not played in this fashion.
I'm surprised, actually, that South Korea was able to stop the payload where they were. Because we saw some of those early picks come through, and it was just the rest of Poland. Well, unfortunately, they only had 3 people to push the payload then, and when you've got a Reinhardt on the other side and a Zarya, that can be a bit tough to make work.
Well, especially because the Widowmaker and the Pharah had to go in to push, and Flower was actually just ducking on the opposite side of the cart, and he delayed it long enough for the rest of his teammates to respawn.
Yeah, the triple tank defense is hard to break with this kind of damage. Now Earthshatter comes in for Mono. See if there's any follow-up. Meanwhile, Moth trying to get something done with the barrage, but there's the sleep dart. And there's the pin. Oh, insult to injury. That's painful.
That's just great target selection.
Never wake up from that match.
Yeah, you don't. That's just great target selection from the Korean side.
Yep.
They manage to get everything, call the barrage, they hide on the side, then the defensive matrix comes in, sleep dart right into the charge. No chance for the barrage to do damage.
South Korea with a good amount of ults to use at this point as well. Danya over onto the 76 now. Swapping off of that Widowmaker. And South Korea playing this one old school.
Yeah, there's a lot of poking through this choke point into Reinhardt shields. We've seen this many times before, but not recently.
All right, Mano taking some damage. But there's Sabiel B to take the pressure off the Reinhardt. Graviton Surge used. Sabiel B gets 2, including 1 with the Pulse Bomb. And Poland just getting picked apart here.
Just going to force Matvoy right now to resuit if he wants to actually get it back. He's going to have to go into spawn and sacrifice his ult charge if he wants to come back up. Switches to Orisa and now resets his ultimate on the Diva. So
that's a Pretty bad punish there. That hurts. Have to give up that ult charge on the Diva.
Yeah,
Moth in the way back lines again.
Almost with the barrage once more, but Katowice has that res as well. So 2 ults up now. Are they going to be able to do anything with his attack? He's looking for a barrage angle.
All right, he found it. Gets absorbed though.
Diva's there right there, every time.
Flower was right there to absorb that with the Diva. There's the res again. But Sape will be all man already with the Earth Shatter. They have been handling these resurrections extremely well.
Yes, they have. Instantly locking down the enemy with further crowd control.
Yeah.
Self-destruct is there now. 30 short seconds remaining for Poland on the attack.
Yep.
And they haven't figured out a way to crack the choke point into the market square.
Yeah, it's looking like a full hold in quite the devastating way in favor of South Korea. Poland, this is their last chance. They've got no ults to use.
I think you just need to go for the dive right now. Setrox should be back on that Winston, play the Genji, and go into the back line, because you need a pick right now. The Zenyatta, I think, was a better answer.
I agree. Here we go. Moth trying to get in the back lines. There's another Graviton Surge, 2 with the Pulse Bomb already. And there's Reinhardt swinging away. And it's T-Ball, man. Setting him up, and Mano knocking him down. Celebratory sound barrier. And that is it. Poland gets full held, and South Korea pretty much has this one wrapped up.
They just have to get into the gateway area. You could see how fast Zunba was getting those Graviton surges throughout that map. They executed Big Bang time and time again. But I think that if you're Poland and you're coming into that 30-second scenario, they briefly switched over to the Zenyatta, and I think that's the way you go. You don't have time to sit there and play Reinhardt Shield Wars at a choke point, especially when you know that some of these big CC ults are going to be available for the enemy team. I think just go commit to the Genji again, try and get into the back line and pick somebody off with the Discord Orb, and do not group up in that choke.
Yeah. You know what I've decided? From now on, I want a screen that shows me standing in an opposing stance behind me. At my desk.
Are you going to put that in your house? Just have, you're going to record like a 24-hour loop video of you standing there?
Yeah, every time, like dinner chair, desk, couch, I want like a giant me, arms folded, scowling from behind. I feel like it's very intimidating.
Would you have a different outfit in every one of them?
Yeah, like in the den, I'd have like, a nice comfortable bathrobe perhaps.
I'd have a smoking jacket, like a velvet smoking jacket.
I could see that. In the kitchen, I'd have a chef's hat.
Is it like the Iron Chef angry pose?
Yep, that's right.
All right, that sounds great.
Well, is there any other pose for an Iron Chef? You don't call yourself Iron Chef by being a happy person. I loved Iron Chef. That was a great show.
It was a great show. Yeah.
Let's stop casting and go watch Iron Chef.
All right.
All right. So I'm taking off my headset. Oh, no, wait, it's not over yet. Okay, hold on. We got to wait a little bit for South Korea to push the payload through to just a little bit through that tunnel, and then they will win this match 4-0. I mean, from the Poland side, it's so tough to stop the team here.
I like what they're doing. They're going to play a 3 DPS dive defense because they have to play this as aggressively as possible.
Oh boy.
Any room on the payload is a problem for them. Flower is on Bastion, and it's going to, I guess this is happening.
I've said this a lot, but this is another pick we've seen him play in the past. He actually has played a decent amount of Bastion. Trying to keep him healed. Run! Oh, denied. Setrox comes in for the finishing blow, and South Korea's Bastion comp just doesn't work out. I can't believe I said that sentence.
Well, it is tough against these dive compositions. Easy to get on top of that Bastion and deny the damage. Also, Tank did a nice biotic grenade there, so no healing possible.
Anybody going to stop Sabil B from pushing the payload there? He's Tracer pushing the payload, guys. Well, there we go. Finally stops. Flower.
On Widowmaker now,
Oh, yeah. Dude, well, his Widowmaker is awesome. He was actually known for his Widowmaker play in some of the early Korean frag videos. So it's fun to see him grab this pick again. Trying to take out Danya. Doesn't need to. Zimba's got it. Just more damage layered on there. Yeah, I don't think you want to be that close.
That's not where. It's not where you want to be right now. He's going to get a damage boost though from Toby on the Mercy, trying to hit those huge headshots with the multipliers, and Tactical Visor forced to be popped by Moth there is on the low ground, and that's going to be a nano boosted Winston.
All right, Toby gets the res on the Zunba. A little bit of tempo res going. Mano with the nano boost. He's just going to cruise through, man. I guess, there we go. Danya, what are you doing? Oh, you. All right, this has gotten a bit silly, guys, this match here. This is Transcendence from Poland trying to keep the payload stopped where it is.
That's going to be Korea just pushing forward right now.
Yep.
Mono waiting out that biotic grenade so we can get the heals. And they're going to have to push back slightly as Poland is going to respawn and get back onto the cart right now. So let's continue to delay this. 2 minutes they've shaved off of this push from Korea.
Yeah. Oh, well, okay. Well, Mano just decides to go in the back and kill everybody. Meanwhile, Danya grabbing some kills for Poland on the other side here, taking out Jeong and Zunba. But is it going to be enough? Mano with the Primal Rage, can he push Poland back long enough to just barely get the payload in there?
Does get the kill onto the Genji. That's the first big one that he needs. Trying to delay this as much as he can. Only the tank left, and that's going to be it. Payload should be moving through.
The Mano with the Plano, and the Plano is to win 4-0. South Korea takes it. Poland, though, making them play honest.
Yeah, they definitely did. And showing a bigger flexibility of style. Certainly having them come into the match tomorrow against Austria is a likely favorite, but we'll see if Austria has also improved overnight compared to what we had seen them play in day one.
Well, we are now at the point where South Korea is 8-0 in the group as far as map score goes, but they did give up a point. It's not a perfect tournament for them anymore.
It's not. It's over. The dream is dead.
That's right. And it certainly wasn't a tiny low-kill affair. And the fans here in Poland on their feet for the home team, putting up a really respectable showing against South Korea, no doubt.
Overnight, changing so much of their play and looking a lot better today.
Yeah, this Poland team, I think, would have had a really good shot at beating Netherlands if we would have seen them yesterday.
Definitely would have put on a stronger showing, I think. But it's nice to see them gain some ground and fix a lot of their issues.
That's right. Well, let's send it back to the desk to see what Golden Boy and the crew have to say about this match.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. All right. Well, that certainly was quite the run here for the South Korean roster. Sebiobi really just looking chilled. He's really enjoying
having a good time.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome stuff there. But I do want to say a huge shout out to Poland for an incredible performance. Honestly, like that was a strong showing from the Polish squad.
Absolutely. And again, like everything we pointed out yesterday, they cleaned it up and they made this so competitive. And I'm just generally impressed. I didn't expect this at all, which is bad because I was the one picking Poland for this match. But you know, no, I was just, I don't know. Someone had to, all right? No, but I'm happy I did because I'm proud of those guys. I am generally proud. The switches they made, the adjustments they made throughout the games were absolutely incredible. They had an answer to the composition of Korea and switched accordingly to actually deal with what is thrown at them. And they forced Korea off their Junkrat into real picks. That's an achievement.
Yeah, ultimately, I would say that one of the major things that came up in this matchup was Setrox versus Mono on the Reinhardt. We see here on King's Row, Setrox looked a little uneasy and didn't quite know how to read Mono. What do you think, Reinforce?
Yeah, for sure. I think that Setrox put up a good fight, especially because for a large part of the Reinhardt battles, Poland went with a D.Va instead. And that D.Va shuts down Ri Jae-hong's heals when he's playing Diana, unlike when you're playing as Zenyatta, where your heal is constant from an orb. And Sunba was, of course, always on the Zarya. So I think that Setrox had an easier time because he got those constant heals, while Mono struggled a bit with not as much support.
Yeah, and when you think about what we saw in the Horizon game as well, something that I was really appreciative of Poland was they showed no fear. They showed no fear against the South Korean team. They went right in. Even on defense, they dived right in and challenged them. And, I don't think many teams, especially in this event, would have thought about doing that. So.
No, really. I mean, for the second point, like Danya switched to the McCree to trying to deal with the flanking opportunities from Korea, with the Sombra, with the Tracer. Didn't really work out, but they did make the necessary adjustments, and that was absolutely perfect to watch. And generally, I was also impressed to see the hero pool of both of those teams, because there were a lot of switches on the Polish team as well, mostly in terms of who's playing the D.Va. Matboy played her, Danya played her, Matt played her. Like literally everyone took a turn depending on their actual composition, and no one of them did a necessarily bad job. I was still questioning some self-destructs from Matt in certain situations, but overall I think it really came together there.
By the way, I just want to, speaking of self-destructs, I
have no idea where this is going.
Flower. When he basically teleported out of the self-destruct
Oh, the
on,
Sombra, that
on
was
Sombra.
that was really
Oh
clever
man,
done.
like the timing of that and the overhead view was like the perfect thing at that very moment. It was so sick.
Yeah,
man.
it was kind of sad though because Poland deserved to cap that. There was some real 2CP
But that
action.
Yeah.
shows how
2 minutes
well
straight.
Korea can stagger you and stall you. Like you think you're winning this fight, but you have no idea.
Yeah, but it's not something I want to highlight. I'm bad at Poland. They deserve that second capture.
It's true.
That's
They
true.
fought
With their
That's
power
true.
parts.
They played hard there. And you guys saw the group there updated. South Korea, they are unscathed here. 8-0.
But a bit bruised.
They got a lost point.
A bit bruised.
A bit bruised. They got a
They lost
point.
a point.
But
bloodied
that's a
them.
bit of a bruise.
Yes. And this, you know what? If it bleeds, you can kill it. You know?
Okay.
That's a little brutal. It's a little brutal.
Optimistic.
But we'll just go ahead and roll with that there. In any case, guys, that's going to do it for us here for the post game of Poland versus South Korea. But you don't want to miss the next game because we have plenty more Group E action coming at you. It's going to be Austria facing off against the Netherlands. Let's see if the Netherlands can keep their consistency going forward with a potential 8-0 victory, or can Austria strike? We'll see. Don't go anywhere.